want people to have bullshit jobs and save money, which is why I'm like, hey, make 29K, but live a 22K life so you save. I want you to make 29K, save 1,000 a year, and work on your fucking dream. Your fucking dream. Everyone talks about fucking dreams. If it's a fucking dream, you should bleed out of your eyes. If it's a fucking dream, you should sweat for a decade. It's a fucking dream. People think dreams are being handed out here like fucking candy. You got your perspective. I just want to be happy. Don't you want to be happy? Good morning. It is Friday, April
3rd. Good People Day.
3rd. It is Good People Day. We'll talk about that later. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Tea with GaryVee. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, aka GaryVee, aka a New York Jets fan who hates every Patriot fan in the world. Feeling good. Things are solid. A lot of operational stuff going on at VaynerMedia. Spending some time with fam, FaceTiming, connecting with friends and family, and most of all, really enjoying this tremendous show. First, huge shout out to the First in Line group that's been doing watch parties on this. Big shout out to you guys. Thanks for watching. Reddit, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, all live this morning. Dustin on ones and twos. Thank you for that. Got my tea. I'm ready for my questions. And as always, screenshot this, share on Twitter so that I can follow and retweet you all along the show during the in-betweens. Get that screenshot in right now. Share the Facebook URL. Share the Facebook URL if you're in it right now. In the bottom there, hit that little share. Or just copy the URL and post it. Let's get your homies in here. Dustin, let's get our first question in here.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm
Awesome.
not drinking tea. I'm drinking coffee, so I need to get
Respect.
on it. But first I want to say thank you to Justin and your entire team for giving me this opportunity. I was able to meet Justin and go to VaynerMedia in New York, which was great. Hopefully, I get to meet you one day. But
Can't wait.
A little bit about my background is, I graduated from Villanova, played basketball there, and I was able to generate a very large audience on my Instagram platform. I got a verified blue check, worked for Baron Davis in LA, was heavily in sports production. So my main question for you is, now that all of these new social media platforms are opening up, you have TikTok, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook even, how can I generate that same large audience that I did on Instagram onto all these other social media platforms? And then how can I kind of focus my content to make sure that I'm doing the same things that align on these social media platforms?
So you don't have to have, on the last part, it's important to be contextual in the room that you're in. So make sure your content is contextual to it, right? Like you on the basketball court during your college years was the different you than was in the classroom, which was the different you that when you went out with your girls and turned up, right? So I think make sure that on TikTok or LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram, it's always you, but it's a different version of you, different adjectives, slightly different content, different post-production. I think you use your Instagram right now. So one of the strategies that I had when I saw that Facebook fan pages were going to get less organic reach about 5 years ago was I said, oh my God, this is not going to be the prime place anymore. So I'm going to use this chapter this next year, which we nailed it. I could see it and we nailed it, to build up all the other platforms, because this is where my biggest base is. That's what I think people should be doing with their Instagram right now. You should be, how many times a day do you post on Instagram?
A main post, I barely post, but every day on my story at least. But even Justin got on me a little bit about posting consistently.
Yeah, I mean, I think people have decided to use their main Instagram feed like a fucking gallery, right? Like it's got to be like this perfect photo, all this shit. They overthink it. That's why they don't post enough. Mm-hmm. I think you should be posting 2 times a day minimum. I think you should be posting 3 times a day. The post you want, and then 1 post to build up your TikTok. Like literally, it's your TikTok and it's posted in your Instagram, and you're like, yo, follow me on TikTok. It's going to get way less likes. Everyone's like, oh, it's not as many likes. But meanwhile, in 24 months, when organic reach on Instagram is declining and TikTok is popping, you're going to be happy you did it.
Right.
It's almost like, oh, fuck, I was cool as fuck in middle school. But like, you know, then when you go to high school, it doesn't fucking matter. So everybody who's blue checked and 500,000 followers on Instagram right now, they could end up being Dane Cook and Tila Tequila. Those two fucking dominated MySpace for all the old heads in here, you know? But, you know, just because you were popping on something for a minute doesn't mean it doesn't change. Like being a contestant in American Idol season 2 and 3 meant you were a celebrity. Now, not as much. And so things change. So I would use your Instagram right now to build up your other social networks.
Yeah, for sure. I link everything together. One hard component that I kind of had to deal with was when I left college, I couldn't sell Villanova anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm taking pictures in my uniform. I'm no longer a basketball player in this Villanova uniform. So my content sort of changed, and I kind of had
It's
to.
supposed to.
Right. It's supposed. Yeah, and
it's supposed to. That's life, right? Like I get it.
Right.
But like the cool thing is you evolve. Like all my content used to be wine.
Right.
And when I started wanting to talk about business, I had to start over.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look at it as a negative, like, fuck, I've lost this platform and this and that, or this fan base, a lot of these people. Like the reality is you're fortunate that you have that starting base.
Right.
The entire game is based on what you put out. And if you're not putting out main feed posts, you're not talking. And if you're not talking, you're not being heard. And if you're not being heard, you can't build attraction, connection, and community.
Mm-hmm. As a content creator, it's hard to really generate an audience when you move from different platforms, especially like myself, where I had to figure out, all right, who's going to be invested into Villanova basketball anymore? And I'm not even there anymore. So now I have to remember what basketball did for me, opened up my outlets. And that's what I'm working with now. And then figuring out what content to produce along the way.
You need to post content as if you're talking to your friends and family. You need to be thinking about documenting, not original creating. Mm-hmm. Like you could take a video right now with you know Kobe in the background and just tell people why you loved him.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Hey, listen to me. Everybody overthinks content.
I can see it.
Everybody overthinks it. It's not that fucking serious. That's why people love stories. It disappears because people are insecure.
Right.
The reason people love stories is
right.
It's like, oh, you know, oh, cool. Who gives a fuck? And then they treat their fucking Instagram account like it's a museum.
Right. Even for me, when I do business with companies and products as a social media influencer, you know, they want to give me that discount code and make me just post the picture with the product and do it on my story. And in a sense, I see everybody doing those same marketing content strategies. And do they work? To a certain degree, but what's actually going to make you stand out?
Yeah. And I think more importantly, if you're doing a discount code and you're only getting paid by conversion, that's not something interesting because you're giving up all the brand dollars.
Right. And it's not for me in the long
run. That's right. You lose. You get 7 people, 1, sometimes 0, right? And it's like, fuck, they got all that brand awareness, but they only paid you for the sales conversion. Yeah. Listen to me. You need to rethink your whole thing. You need to post, listen to me really good. You need to post 3 times a day on Instagram. Right now, your head's like, what the fuck's he talking about? I'm posting once every fucking 2 weeks. And I'm like, cool, but I'm fucking telling you. That's why you're fucking up this morning and asking me this question. Like, I'm telling you right now, you need to go there and you have to attack TikTok. You have to. And you don't have to fucking dance. You have to fucking put out whatever you want to put out. Talk about transitions in life. You're going through a transition, like it's coming out of your body. You're going through a transition in life. 7 million people declared unemployment last week. They're all going through transitions in life. You know, an ungodly amount of people are 18, 22, going through a divorce, starting a new business. Like everyone's going through transitions in life. Just fucking speak your truth.
Right. That's what I've been trying to do, is stay genuine to myself. Mm-hmm. No.
Mm-hmm. You haven't, because you've been using the easy way out on stories. You have to fucking post 2 to 3 times a day on your main feed on Instagram. I promise you, once you break that preciousness of it, it will fucking change your game.
Right.
Right now, you're in the framework of worrying about the people on the other side of the post. You need to worry about you.
That's right. just been focused on getting 30,000 likes on my pictures because that's what I've been able to generate, and I need to move away from that.
Listen to me. That means dog shit. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
Why not 40,000?
I have to admit, I did care at one point. I did care about the numbers. They did get me.
Good news. Everybody cares.
Right.
So you're not on the island. Everybody cares. You know why? Everybody lives in high school, even when they leave it.
Right.
You have to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I know.
I'm obsessed with getting people out of high school.
I know. I'm like hanging on. Yeah.
Don't let go and go be happy and talk about some shit you like. Do you like chess? Do you like bananas? Do you like smoothies? Do you like Dunkin' Donuts coffee? Do you like Kobe? Do you like checkers? Do you like your old friend Rick from high school? Like, just make shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, 6,000 likes, 6,000 likes on a post that gets you 1,000 followers on TikTok is way better than 50 posts in a row that get you 50,000 likes on Instagram for you right now.
I can
understand?
I created my TikTok probably in 3 weeks so far. I already have 40,000 followers, and I'm not dating.
Ready? I want two things from you. I want you posting 2 to 3 times. This is my prescription: 2 to 3 times a day on Instagram, and never starting sentences about social media predicated on followers.
Right.
Even the insight of like, I already, right? You know?
Or blue check.
Or blue check. Like, right. If you think about it, you're looking for outside validation, and you need to start the process of inside game.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Right.
Right.
I'm gonna start posting more. I got to.
Good luck.
Well, thank you, Gary, so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Thank you. You too.
That was a big time one, Dustin, to start it off. I think that just fucking helped 1 million people over the next 10 years. That video circulates in its individuality. Let's keep this going. Let's see what's going on Twitter. People sharing the screenshots. There we go. Good job, Nick. Nick, my man. I am your 80th follower. Uh-oh. Sean Kelly's in the building.
Hey, Gary. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I'm 23. I'm from New Jersey, born and raised. I actually live in Piscataway right now, 10 minutes away.
Let's go. I used to do the Piscataway. Oh no, that's Phillips. No, Piscataway. I used to do Piscataway, New Jersey. Kyle, I can't even remember his name. A Jet player was drafted from Piscataway, New Jersey. Went to Boise State. He was a corner. I'll remember in a minute. Go ahead.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So I basically went to Rutgers. That's where I found you. Listened to you all throughout freshman year. So thank you so much. My question today, basically, I host free monthly networking events in New Jersey. I really like to stress the free factor, and I make sure all my speakers don't sell or pitch anything. I've been having them the past 6 months. Our first one had 28 people, and then our last one in February had 154 people. So we've been growing slowly but surely. We were going to have one in Miami actually yesterday, but with the coronavirus, we had to cancel it. We had about 300 people confirmed for that one. So I know I'm onto something with these free events. D-Rock was actually going to speak at one. So yeah, shout out to D-Rock. But my question to you is, how can I turn these profitable? Because we're not profitable yet since they are free.
Sponsor.
And how can I keep growing?
One sponsor. One clean sponsor. I like what you're doing. The way you make it profitable is you get Chase, you get SAP, you get Oracle, you get Toyota. You get one clean corporate sponsor who wants access. So what you do is you make a deck of like who's coming, what's the demo of the people coming. At 150, 300, you start with a smaller business. I mean, heck, even Wine Library, if it's in New Jersey, might want to sponsor it and pay you, at first $2,000 to be a sponsor and serve wine at the event. You get one clean sponsor that gets like 2 seconds, like just, we're used, you or everybody else is like, big shout out to, Wine Library for sponsoring the event. All right, let's get going. Like literally not like a fucking disgusting like commercial, just a clean sponsor that wants access to the audience. One.
Amazing.
And the way you do that right now is you make a video or a 3 or 4 page deck that sums up what you're up to, and you just fucking start asking.
Got it. Thank you so much. And I guess how can I further grow the audience? Because everything up to this point has been me cold DMing or cold emailing people to come. I pretty much DM every day until I'm blocked. But I guess how can I run paid traffic to
You can run paid traffic, but the first marketing campaign I did for Wine Library when I was a kid was print out 20% off a case of wine coupons on my computer and then go to the Short Hills Mall and put them on people's car windows. Like,
Wow.
you know, like, yeah, like the beginning is ghetto. And honestly, one day you'll reminisce about the ghetto. You'll reminisce about the dirt. You'll reminisce about the beginning. And so, you know, you're doing it. 28, 57, 103, 150, 300. Like the word of mouth will take over. Content. Every time you're doing an event, there should be 50 to 100 pieces of content on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You're probably not doing enough post-event content to spur up awareness. That's called branding. And so a weekly podcast that's tied into the thing. I mean, right now, I would probably reach out to everybody that's ever spoke and do some Zoom and Google Hangout and Instagram Lives with them. Like, content's the fucking like, it's crazy. It's kind of like, eat well and work out. Eat well and work out. Like, that's how you get in shape. And like, I keep talking about like, how do you create opportunities in business? And I'm like, content. Now, just like in working out, I had to learn like pin back my shoulders so I get my chest, not my shoulders when I work out. Mike and Jordan taught me that. Same reason I talk about TikTok this or Instagram that or LinkedIn this. Like, there is tactics within it, but always think content. You're not producing enough content for awareness of your shows. I promise that.
Got it. Thank you. Yeah, I have videographers, but I'm not repurposing the content anywhere. So I need to start doing that.
And guess what? You're fucking stuck in home with fucking the corona pandemic outside. So you can fucking make 1,000 pieces of content from the 4 events right now. Get into that post-edit life.
Got it. Amazing.
Right,
And
got you.
I got one final question if you got the time.
Let's go.
With all this coronavirus stuff and sports being canceled, how is Vayner Sports handling all your athletes and everything going on with that?
We have 13 kids going into the draft, and that's staying real. So we're very busy with that. A lot of our vets have signed their contracts or under contract, so they're chilling at home, and we're texting them to keep them motivated, make sure they're working out, in their playbook. They're professionals. So, the majority of our kids, one of the things with Vayner Sports is we're very focused on the quality of the human, and, 98% of them are very capable of handling their shit, the grown men. And so even the youngest of the bunch. So it's been pretty cool. And we're in football, right? So they haven't missed anything yet. And so we're kind of okay for now.
Got it.
Cool.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Take care, bro. You
Bye.
got it. All right, let's see what's going on here. Some good sharing going on. Robert Zimbalis Jr. Appreciate you. Robert Blake, thank you. Todd Social with a nice little share. I agree, Nick. Nick McHenry, you get a follow for that. I am your 78th follower. Nick, I'm just going to ask you, do you drink wine? Are you on wine text? That's a good question for everybody here. If you're drinking wine, get on wine text. Avery, what's good?
Yo, how you doing, Mr. Gary? I'm so excited to be here.
Thanks for being on, brother. What's good?
I'm good, man. I'm 23 years old. I'm in college. It's my last year in college. I'm going to school for mechanical engineering, and my original dream was to come here and design cars, but like it's not working out because it's just way too much work, and I realized I'm not into all the small details. So at this point, I know. But anyway, I've taken this class called Exploring Majors my last year, obviously for some reason. But anyway, my new dream is to like have this YouTube channel where like I go around and I would ask kids like, hey, do you want to go for a ride in my car? And specifically, I'd have like a Gallardo or something, and then I'd talk about them, well, talk with them and be like, hey, what are your like goals and ambitions in life? But I'm just undecided if this is like a reasonable dream to pursue, because I really just want to motivate and inspire kids to be like, hey, I want you to go out and do what you want to do. Don't do what everybody's telling you to do. Do it for you. Like, I want to do it. Not because mom wants me to go to college. Like, is this like something reasonable, or is that like?
It's very reasonable. I mean,
wrong?
you just got to make sure you don't get arrested for trying to roll up on kids and say, hey, get in my car. But I'm sure they have that prearranged. I'm just pleasant. So, yeah, I think it's super reasonable. I think Avery, you just need to realize that it's probably going to be 2 full years of you putting out videos on YouTube before it pops. And so can you afford to like be in a place where you're chasing that when you're not making any money? Can you get a bullshit job that pays you a little something to maintain a little rent and a little food? Like, you know what's funny? When I hear people say it's my dream, it always catches my attention because I'm always like, is it? Because when I hear people say it's my dream, then I'm like, oh, this is going to be easy. Hey, Avery, for 5 years, nothing good's going to happen. You're going to work at 7-Eleven or at an office or some shit just to pay rent and food so that the other 7 hours you can work on driving with Avery. Nothing good is going to happen for 5 years. You're not going to be fucking GaryVee. You're not going to fucking pop. You're not going to make money. You're not. And if you're like that, then it is your dream and let's go. Yes, it's so all you need to do is find an amazing, and this is a big shout out to everybody's got a dream. The number one way as a young person to win on a dream is to find a bullshit job that doesn't take up a lot of time. Let me say it one more time because it's confusing as fuck. The way you actually, because if you went right out of school and started doing this and you had a couple of dollars saved up and you're couch serving or your parents are paying for it or whatever, cool. But guess what? It's only going to last 2 or 3 months because you're not going to, everyone's like, oh, by month 6, I'll be making $100,000 on ads on YouTube. It never happens. So the way to actually live a dream usually is for that dream to be your side hustle, but takes up all your free time because it's your dream now, right? It's not like kinda, it's your dream now. You know, it takes away from 2K, takes away from hanging with your boys. It takes away from having a girlfriend, boyfriend. It takes away from shit. It's a fucking dream. The way to fucking have a dream is for you, what I'm listening, maybe you get a job as, you know, at a car business because you fuck with them, right? Like maybe you fucking work at, maybe you're you're a receptionist at a fucking car dealership.
No, I did that. I swear, I worked at Mitsubishi. I was the receptionist. I was the valet. I worked in parts. Like I've done all this car stuff. I've been around people. I'm definitely a people person, which is why I feel like I have to do this because I want people to be like, he can do it. Like everybody can.
Avery, good. Get a job at a school that pays for you to be able to have a roof and eat clearly. Not the kind of job that's going to give you a mansion and caviar, the kind of job that's going to give you Bojangles and 3 roommates, right?
Yeah.
And then you have 6 hours, 7 hours a day to fucking do your dream. It's very feasible. Is the concept right? You know the concept's right. Fucking the coffee with fucking comedians, Seinfeld shit. You've seen this already. Of course it's feasible. It's just going to come down to how talented you are.
I just wasn't sure if I wasn't sure if you were going to suggest like a podcast or like do something else besides like, oh, go check out this Lambo and go for a ride.
Good news. When you do the Lambo and go for a ride, you got to figure out how you're going to get these cars. But you know that I have a feeling you're going to try to figure that out. But
engineering, it's fine.
But you script the audio and you make it a podcast. So you film it. You make it my podcast is a top 200 podcast in the world. And I never rarely sit down and actually do a podcast. It's just a script audio from shit I do like this.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. I can roll with that.
The framework, Avery, is side job to pay for you to chase your dream for a long time.
Yeah. That's what I was going to do after I graduated. Nice $70,000 job. Hopefully just call it good. Thanks, man.
I love it, man. Good luck. Pleasure. Good kid. People jump into their dream, Dustin, and have no money, have no savings, have no reserves, and they have to quit after 5 weeks because miraculously they didn't become fucking Kevin Hart after 2 videos about humor. What they need to do is get that bullshit job. Especially the reason I like receptionists and other shit like that is like, get me a job that actually lets me be on my phone 6 of the 7 hours as long as I'm taking care of the inbound so I can even keep pumping my shit. That pays. I get 2 roommates. I have a roof. I want people to have bullshit jobs and save money, which is why I'm like, hey, make 29K, but live a 22K life so you save, right? And it's obviously taxes or whatever, but like people get the point. I want you to make 29K, save 1,000 a year, and work on your fucking dream. Your fucking dream. Everyone talks about fucking dreams. If it's a fucking dream, you should bleed out of your eyes. If it's a fucking dream, you should sweat for a decade. It's a fucking dream. People think dreams are being handed out here like fucking candy.
Hi, how are you?
Good. What's your name?
Carla.
Carla.
So
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So I'm a content creator in Instagram. I opened my Instagram about 2 years ago. I started my business in nursery decor. My background is engineering. I used to work for the city as a civil engineer. My husband was an architect and he quit his job. We wanted to spend more time with family. So we both quit our job and now we're working full time from home. So one of the questions I guess that I have, because every platform is obviously different. We got a huge success on Instagram, but we're trying to replicate the business on TikTok. So how can you reach to TikTok? Because I'm 38 years old, so my crowd is a little bit different, and the message that I have is different. I day trade. I have like a lot of like different experience. So to me, it's kind of fun to do, like TikTok as a content creator. You're doing silly photos and you're doing dances with your kids and all of that. But as a business, how can you, be able to like monetize that?
So what you need to do is you need to be you on that platform and wait for the platform to get older and wider. So I'm 44 years old and I'm doing plenty well on TikTok because 2 years ago or 18 months ago, I just made the content that I make. And so the biggest mistake that people make is they go into TikTok and they think they have to do dances. They think they have to do what works on TikTok. What they need to do is talk about what works for you. I want you to make a day trading TikTok, an information 1 minute about day trading. Now, it may not get as many views at first, but I don't know how early you got on Instagram, but at first, Instagram was just for photographers. It wasn't about personalities. It wasn't about business. It wasn't about motivation. It wasn't about humor. It wasn't about, people looking good. It was just about photography. And then it changed. Twitter was just about technology nerds talking about tech and Web 2.0. And then it changed. So you need to go on TikTok and be you and let the platform and the audience evolve into you, not you conforming to the platform. You just need a little patience. Understand?
Yes.
How about LinkedIn? Listening to you, I think LinkedIn could be a tremendous place because of your engineering, architecture, day trading. I think LinkedIn could be an incredible place. It'll be a little bit slower. It'll be more business, but I think it could be an incredible place for you guys to consider too. I'm very bullish on LinkedIn.
What about YouTube?
Always. YouTube is like oxygen. Anybody who's creating content needs to go on YouTube. The reason Instagrammers don't like YouTube is it takes a lot more work and it's a lot slower. And everybody got excited about how simple it was to just take a photo or a quick video and grow quickly on Instagram. It takes a lot more creativity and a lot more patience and a lot more work to grow on YouTube, but it is a very top important platform in the world.
Do you think it's important to post like maybe 2 or 3 times a day on Instagram? I'm currently only posting once.
I do.
Okay.
I think you're missing out on opportunity. And I'm sure you've already seen from how long have you been on Instagram?
2 years.
2?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So have you noticed even the last 6 months that the posts are declining or are you growing?
It's mixed. Sometimes it declines based on the content. So when I'm posting more with the kids, because I think people are seeing more my life, I get more likes. If it's more like like just me by myself, it's less likes. So it's mixed.
Understood. So I think you're missing opportunity. I think you should be posting 2 to 3 times a day, 100,000%.
Okay.
All right. Good luck, Carla. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Tea with GaryVee, 30 minutes in, a lot of fire. I appreciate people that are sharing. I appreciate everybody who's sharing. Really do. I really do. Thank you, Michael. Tea with Mike, I like your handle. Yeah, Tristan, I like the people really responding to the dreams conversation on Twitter, which I appreciate. Marianne, Strategy Goddess, I appreciate that. You're getting a follow, Marianne. 194th follower. Oh, hi.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Brittany, but I go by Zakaya on all my social medias. How are you?
I'm good, Britt. I'm good, Zakaya.
So my question is, how can musicians and artists utilize LinkedIn? Because I hear you talking about it all the time, and I'm confused because I use, YouTube and TikTok, Instagram, but like I don't know how to use LinkedIn.
Did you ever use Facebook? Did you ever have a Facebook page, or was that before your time?
Yes, I've had it. I have it. I hate it, but I have it.
It's changed. But did you ever have it and it was working back 4 years ago when it was popping?
Kind of, because I've only been doing my music stuff for a really short time where I focused
Got it.
So like, I don't think I was in the time where I could have utilized it the way it should have been.
You have YouTube?
Yes.
And that's working? Where you like it? It's doing its thing?
It's doing okay. I don't post enough on there.
So LinkedIn is much more similar to YouTube and Facebook. Like literally you put a log form video in there and you just post it. LinkedIn is literally Facebook 7-8 years ago. Literally. Like you don't have to make it about business. You can literally post a picture of a cat and be like, my cat Rick, and call it a day. It's a social network now on top of just being a resume and business place. And it has a lot of organic reach. Early Instagram, early TikTok, early Snapchat, early it's real estate. Anything early where there's attention and not enough content is a great place for all of us, because literally you just post a 2-minute video of your music on there and you write some copy of like, hey, here's where you can be smart. Hey, take a break from your workday and hope you enjoy this song about birds or love or whatever. I think you'd be very surprised what happens on there. That's it. Literally, that's it.
Okay, because I was always thought it was like a resume for working at a desk job, I guess.
It's not. It's become a content social network that's acting a lot more like Facebook did 7 years ago. Literally, I'm watching people. I post about wine. I watch people post about, exercise. Like it's a very, very effective platform. And what I like about it is you go there day one. Nobody's ever heard of you. You have no followers, and you post, and you have 137 people watch your video. It's getting free organic reach. And so many people watching right now don't have the money to launch a brand, which is why I constantly talk about organic platforms like TikTok and LinkedIn, because you can start with 0 cents and build your life.
Oh yeah, TikTok's crazy, because I went on there and within like 4 videos, I had like 600, 800 views on one stupid video. And I didn't have any followers, so.
That's right. How many times a day are you posting on TikTok?
Probably once every 2 days. It's not every day.
I think you need to really post 2 to 3 times a day on TikTok, especially if you're into music, because you're wasting away the time where there's free organic reach. And in 4 years, in 12 months, you're gonna be sad that you didn't post 3 times a day.
Agreed. I think so. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Talk to you.
Bye.
Tom, what's good?
Oh my gosh, Gary, this is crazy. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
I'm trying not to be nervous, but like, man, bro, you've helped me through so much. Like,
thank you.
I can't thank you enough, Gary. This is just crazy for me. So my question is coming at,
before you get into your question. Yeah, before you get into your question, what did I help you most with, and what was the piece of content, or what was the constant theme?
Oh, there's so much, Gary. I mean, mainly TikTok. I was doing Instagram, I was doing Snapchat, I was doing LinkedIn, I was doing all those platforms. But they just weren't really like popping. They weren't really exploding, and I was posting content. But TikTok, I went on it since September. I heard you talking about it. I'm like, okay, if Gary's talking about TikTok so much, let me do it. And so I've been posting like 3 times a day, and now I have like 40,000 followers. I'm talking about aviation, airline stuff. Like, it's just crazy. I'm not even doing the dancing stuff. Like, I'm just providing value, and like, I've made so many connections with people. It's really crazy. And I do these lives where like I just go live with people. Like right now I'm taking advantage of the quarantine time, and I just go on there and talk to them and try and provide value that you talk about, and it really hits home with them.
I love it, man. Poster child. Keep it going, Tom.
So my question is how do I monetize on TikTok without like trying to sell? Like, I have your marketing side that I just don't like selling, but these people, like these kids, keep on asking me like, how do I invest in you? Because my dream is to start my own airline. Just like how you're trying to buy the New York Jets, my dream is to start my own airline.
Cool.
And how do I invest in you? So like, I don't know the product. So that's what that's what my question was about.
Unless Richie Rich is following you on TikTok, these kids aren't going to have enough money to really pop you up anyway. You know what I'd probably do? I'd probably draw. I'm not even kidding. I'd probably draw or have a design friend create a logo of your future airline, right? And create like and create a hoodie and a beanie and a cap, and like and see if like the audience wants to get on. It'd be really cool if you did something and it said coming 2047, did something cool like that. You could have some fun with merch on that. I also would tell you that if you don't need to monetize the audience, don't. I have continuously not monetized my audience around my subject matter. Obviously, I've started businesses like Empathy Wines and did a collaboration with K-Swiss where I'll bring awareness to things I've done, but I've never directly monetized my audience. And I always tell people, if you don't need to, don't, for as long as humanly possible, because it gives you such a better chance to actually build a real relationship. And then by the time, most people who are watching right now that are signing up for Wine Text are doing it because they know that it means a lot to me to help my dad, right? Yeah. And so I would tell you, don't if you can afford it. And if you can't and you really need money, then I would consider swag based on the story I heard of the future brand, which I think could be really cool.
Well, I joke with my audience
and would fit the TikTok audience, like buying a $20 beanie with some rad fucking outline of an airline, like that seems like realistic versus taking funding from crowdsourcing to invest in your future airline that's 37 years away.
Yeah, and I tell my fans, they're like, when do you gonna start your airline? I said, like 2070. Like, it's all about the process. Like, I'm not about to go rush in and start a freaking airline like so early. Like, there's so much capital to that. And they've actually started like a fan account, and some of them are like making their own liveries and things like that. And like, I'm just literally gonna post it on my TikTok. It's just crazy, the community that I built up there. It's true organic. It's true like built up, and it's just. It's really crazy, and I'll take your advice. I've been joking about merch, but I noticed you don't really like to do merch. Like every time you do merch,
I fool around with it. I do merch once in a blue moon to test theories. I like learn. 1:37 p.m. the mail media site I have. I want to do a ton of merch there, so I've been using some of the hoodies and different things I've done on my community or my world have been one-offs, limited edition. I mainly make them so that my fans can buy them and then reflip them on eBay and make money. Yeah, go play. Tom, I'm really happy for you, man. You sound real happy, and that makes me happy. So keep doing it.
I am, bro. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good kid. Like this shit. You know what's really fun about all this, Dustin, is like in 39 years watching a video, like the kid really goes and builds it, and then you can recall this video. That shit's crazy.
Yeah.
Love it. Facebook, the 5,700 of you, let's share the shit out of the URL. Go to the top right now. Go to the bottom if you're on mobile and hit that little share button in the bottom left-hand corner. If you're on desktop, go to the top right now. Control C that URL and then post. Get some of your homies on here. Yo, Tony, what's good?
Oh, hey.
How are you?
This morning.
I'm really well. Who's this little beautiful one?
This is Saoirse. This is my youngest of 3.
So pretty.
So, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Like I said, I have 3 kids, and my oldest is 15. He's actually sitting next to me.
Love it.
He is extraordinary, not because I'm his mother and he's my child, but ever since he was little, from the first time he could start talking, his motto was cash only. So this kid is just amazing. He tries to make a business out of anything that he's good at. He's always thinking about, how can I make money? How can I help my parents? How can I, think about my future? Because I don't know, maybe he gets it from me and his dad, but he is exceptional in a lot of things, and he agrees. So as a parent, I really want to encourage him with all of the things that he's good at and that he wants to pursue in the future. But he's 15. So do I encourage everything, or do I pick and choose a few things that, like niche things that he's really, really exceptional at?
Neither. You don't do anything other than cultivate the framework. You picking things for him is not a good strategy, in my opinion. I think what you need to do is give him protection to find his way. And so, good news. You're talking about a kid that sounds a lot like me, right? And so I think liking a lot of things is a good thing because he's tasting, he's learning. You have to understand, if he does 7 different businesses between 15 and 18 right now, and they all failed, That's actually a huge win for a kid that's wired like that, in the same way that it was for me. The losses, the things that didn't work are the reason I became successful. And it's having that freedom to start a pizza shop, to start a hot dog stand, to start a lawnmower business, to start flipping, to start a sneaker flipping, to like, it's all that. He needs to taste, continue to taste. That's a huge, huge, that is so much more valuable. If you told me his next 3 years was he did 11 things and only made $830, or he could have done one thing and made 90,000, I actually believe, based on what I'm listening to you, that the 11,830 is better.
Okay, wonderful.
Because he's a child. He's got his whole life in front of him.
I
And the
know.
more he learns about himself right now and his interests, the more he's going to be able to build on that when he gets into prime time.
Wonderful. Okay. And he has his own mini business. It's called Wooden Wires, and he does electronic repair. He builds computers. He does all sorts of anything with electronics, really. And he does these little like reviews almost of products that he uses. What's the one product that it's like a glue or a heat glue? Okay, so he did this little thing on the thermal paste that he uses when he builds his computers. And
on
the
YouTube?
company, yeah.
And the company reached out?
Instagram. Text reviews on Instagram, I guess. Well, the company actually saw it and they used it, like shared it and was like, hey, this is awesome. How do I get him to understand the value of sponsorship? I mean, he's 15. All he needs to do is reach out to them, say, hey, I really like your products. I saw that you retweeted or, shared my little
What's his
review.
name?
Blaze.
Hey, Blaze, do you want to reach out to brands and do that? Tell me the truth. Don't be scared.
It's
Come here.
it's an iffy kind of thing. It all depends on, I don't know if I have much to bring to that company.
Well, definitely don't do that, because the reality is, to your mom's point, if a company's already shared one of your reviews, it's likely that your communication style is bringing value. It's not that you might not have a big audience, but which means it might not be an awareness play, but the quality, the content is so strong, and that is the value.
Yes.
Does that make sense, Blaze?
Yeah.
I think, look, here's what, Blaze, let me teach you another great business lesson at this age. And listen to your mom, get here on camera. Don't ever, 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 ever say no for the other guy. Blaze, it's a big deal. Like, one of the biggest things, Blaze, that I see a lot of people do is say no for them before they've asked. Right? So you're saying, I don't know, I wouldn't do this if I were. The amount of times people have paid me for things that I would not pay for is every time, because I wouldn't pay for anything because I don't need anything. Like, don't overthink it. Never, ever, ever, please say no for the other person before you ask. And listen, please do not underestimate the fact that that glue company or paste company used that piece of content. It just might mean that you really know your shit.
He does. He's amazing.
I believe it. I believe it. Blaze, anything else I can answer for you that might be on your mind while we're here?
No, not really.
All right, man. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
You too. My man, Blaze. Quiet, introverted entrepreneur killer. I can't wait to see that kid evolve. That was a really good lesson for everybody. Do not say no to the other person. Enough with this insecure shit. Like, you know how Dustin, you know how you walk around the world and you see like two people and like one's way more attractive than the other person? You're like, how the fuck did that happen, right?
That's me and my girlfriend.
Get out of here, Dustin. You're super handsome. But like, that's because that person didn't say no for the other person, right? There's people that close deals that make no fucking sense. VaynerMedia had no money. I had no money when I started VaynerMedia because I didn't have a lot of money building the wine business. And then what I did have, I just invested in Facebook and Twitter. So we had no money. That's why we started a conference room in another company. Our first client, what we pitched them was not something I would have bought with Procter & Gamble, Gillette razors. But they bought it. They needed it. And so I don't get to judge, and so That's the game. That is the fucking game. Never say no for the other person. Motherfucking big principle for me. Jesus. You know. Rav Rants, thank you so much. Virtual Scribak, John, I want to buy some wine as a token of my appreciation, but I don't like wine. Which empathy? John, Cameron, buy the rosé. You'll be surprised how much you like it. I pumped it with sugar, so it's just straight delicious. Kenobi's having tea with me. Let's share him. Oh, I'm sorry, Isaac.
Hey, Gary, how's it going, man?
Super well. How are you?
Doing very well. Every day above ground is a good day, right?
I'm a believer in that shit.
That's right. So, hey, thanks for taking my call, man. Appreciate everything you do. You're super highly motivational. I really, really appreciate it. So,
thank you.
Share your content out every chance I get because you speak the truth, man.
Thank you, brother.
But my question is
yes.
Here we go. My dilemma is my mind feels like it's going in every single direction all the time. My wife puts it the best way as it's like a junk drawer in your kitchen on a trampoline.
I like that.
So,
by the way, you know who else is like that? This guy.
Yeah, she's like, you got
it's called being creative.
Yes, that's what she said. She got a very creative mind, and the problem is I'll have something going, and it feels like I have momentum going on. Then all of a sudden, fucking squirrel, right? Like, oh my God, I've got this other idea that I want to get going. Yes.
Isaac, have you ever thought that the concept of being happy is cooler than making money?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
Well, good. If you actually believe that, then this conversation's over.
Yeah. Well, here the thing is I'm in real estate, and you know, another one of my hobbies that I absolutely love to do. So I usually will kill it the first part of the year, and the second part of the year I'm in the mountains about 3 or 4 months out of the year. So create content for that because that's my passion. I really love doing that, but also I really love helping people get into their houses also, first-time home buyers and such. So, but the
what's the
problem
problem? Your wife is like, hey, Dick, stop doing the fucking mountain house shit because if you just focused on real estate, you'd make twice the money?
No, she's very supportive, actually. She loves doing it. So
what's the problem?
So my problem is I'll get a project going, and it's such a great idea that everybody's like, why don't you keep going with that idea? You know,
you don't want to.
And another idea pops up, and I start doing something else.
Isaac, 7 years ago, I could have raised a $500 million fund, made $10 million a year just to take meetings, and got 20% of the back end of any deal that won if I had invested properly. I could have been a monster venture capitalist. I could have made bank because I invested in Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. I became GaryVee. Like I had juice. There was family offices, billionaires throwing money. I mean, take 50 million, take 10 million. Like I could have built a huge fund. Again, for everybody who doesn't know how a venture capitalist fund runs, is the business is you get 2% to manage the money, and you get 20% of the back end of any of the profits. And if you raise $500 million, you can make at 2%, you can make, $10 million a year just taking meetings and doling out money, and had all the back end. I didn't do it because I didn't want to.
Right.
Because I actually live my life the way I talk about it, which is happiness over cash.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's my whole point is I like to create or provide value to somebody, especially like right now during the real estate time. There's a lot of uncertainty in a lot of people's minds. So, just creating that value to
Isaac, one day, and if I have anything to do with it, sooner than later, one day, we as humans are going to change the word success to mean happy, not rich. And when that happens, you're going to tell your friends, hey, why are you doing that job that has 400,000, but you're drinking alcohol every night because you're actually unhappy?
Yes.
Isaac, I think you're winning. And people that are straight, that want you to just pick one thing and stay focused, can go fuck themselves.
Right. Exactly.
Are you happy?
I'm extremely happy.
Are you paying your bills?
I'd be happy.
Yeah. Are you paying your bills?
Oh yeah.
You're fucking winning.
I've never had a problem paying my bills ever. So,
Isaac,
during the last
from
downturn,
now on, go ahead. I'm sorry.
During the last real estate downturn, my wife and I, we took a little hiatus and we traveled and we did roadside sales, selling blankets on the side of the street.
Did you save some money prior to that collapse?
We did not, unfortunately, back then.
Have you saved some money this time around?
Yep.
One of the biggest reasons I'm happy, I'm very devastated about Corona. One of the small, subtle, nice things that's going to happen from this is a lot of people are going to learn their first punch in the face, and over the next decade, they will save a little money.
Yeah.
So that when something happens in 13 years, that's unfortunate, they'll be prepared.
Yeah.
Isaac, I see nothing wrong here. I see everything right.
Awesome.
Thanks, I want you to start a project in business every 3 months and then fucking throw it to the garbage because you scratched your itch. Yeah. One thing you could consider, Isaac, instead of shutting them down is bringing in a partner that you give 50% to be the operator, and then you're getting some potential passive income. Nothing's passive. I talk about that because that person could quit. You'll always have to be on, but you could extract value out of some of these ideas and projects by finding people to run them. And if you really take the worst case scenario and say, okay, I'm going to bring Susan in, we're going to be 50-50. Susan's going to quit after 6 months and start her own version of it because she's going to get upset that I'm no longer doing anything. As long as you're okay with that, which I love thinking worst case scenario, then you could be in a really great spot.
Okay.
You see where I'm going?
Yeah. Like one, for example, especially right now, since there's, self-isolations going on, is a few years ago, or a couple of years ago during like Periscope boom and all that blab and all that stuff, as you remember, I started a platform, Home Tours Live. And the problem that I had is a lot of people had a hard time going live because that fear of, public speaking essentially. Yep. So, and that's one of the ideas that I had before. And I'm like, oh, maybe this is a great time to relaunch that essentially.
Try.
So, yeah.
Try right now. Hang up and try.
Yeah. We'll
Talk
do.
To you
Thanks,
soon,
buddy. Appreciate it. Take care, Ben.
Take care. Let's keep this going. Let's keep it going. What's happening on Twitter, Dustin? We keep it going. Here we go. Tyson's in the building. Tyson, how are you?
Good, Gary. How you doing?
Really well.
Hey, man, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you for everything that you do, man. I mean, you got a great message out there and speak a lot of truth, and I really appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you for saying that, sir.
So just to kind of jump straight in, give you a little bit of context. I spent the last I got 3 kids. I spent the last probably 5 or 6 years. I coach a lot of baseball for youth baseball, and I'm kind of at the limit now to where my older son, he's out of my skill set to what I could teach him anything anymore. He's in a more competitive landscape now, doing travel baseball. He's been there for like the last year. My daughter also does competitive cheerleading as well. So over the last year, I've done a lot of networking, got to meet a lot of like club owners, club presidents, facility managers, facility owners. So I've got a few friends that own training facilities and teams in the Sacramento, California area. So
understood.
So right now, this is typically the time of the year where we would be doing all the advertising, trying to recruit, bring in new athletes and things like that. So being that we don't really have the normal traditional avenues that we've had in the past, we're trying to adapt. And I'm working with some of the owners on some options that we have. So I've talked to them about doing Instagram story ads, running Facebook ads, and we're trying to target, more on the Instagram side. We're aiming more towards the athlete age kids, whereas Facebook, we're aiming more towards the parents.
I like everything I'm hearing.
What's that?
I like everything I'm hearing.
Thank you. Appreciate that. But I've also heard you talk in the past about influencer marketing as well, and how it's underpriced, pretty relatively new and underused. Yeah, potentially. So I wanted to see, is there anything we could do to tie influencer marketing in a more localized region, or is that more for like product placement, broadcasting?
Yeah, it's because your business is so local, you're gonna need to steal an influencer so much so that you're okay with the residual 4% of the audience that lives in your general area, and then you need to repurpose that person's video in your own channels, maybe for a cosign. So I do think former professional baseball players, for example, don't have a big market. So I could definitely see, former Sacramento Kings, ironically, Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, are very underpriced. So you might be able to extract some Sacramento Kings stuff. You might be able to focus on some Angels and Dodgers that are retired for some stuff that might over resonate because they were popular in the general region. But when you're localized, influencer marketing has to be hyper local influencers, which oftentimes may, for a business as niche as what you're talking about, for Wine Library, a local mom influencer in a New Jersey suburb works. For you, it's so narrow that that it might be a little bit of a challenge, but I would still test it. I would still, reach out to 15 alpha moms in the Sacramento high net worth neighborhoods region and say, can we make a piece of content and see if it hits the parents and leads to business? The answer is never no. You always have to spend $500 to $1,000 when you can afford it to try some shit.
Okay. Now, I've heard you talk about the alpha mom thing in the past too, and I think that
I'm a big fan of the alpha mom.
Yeah, especially when it goes to more like the cheer side of things too, where maybe they cheered 20 years ago. I think that could be a huge impact thing as well. So, one of my friends over at Davis Sports Academy, they have a lot of friends that have played baseball in the past, and this was probably about 20 years ago they were in the game too, so they might have some connections there. We might be able to
and you'd be surprised how cheap Vernon Wells or Chris Iannetta or you could really steal 500. I mean, they're not getting deals. Baseball players are not. Mike Trout's not getting enough deals, let alone a retired baseball from 20 years ago on a California baseball team. So I would consider that heavily.
Okay. And that's kind of more the short-term gear that we're heading towards, but on the long-term thing for branding, trying to aim for the kids that maybe 3, 4, 5 years from now might be looking for teams. What would you suggest the avenues that we take for TikTok? That
Make
9 to 12-year-old age?
Oh my God, what a fucking dream. TikTok, I would be putting out 3 baseball instructional or cheer instructional videos a day.
Okay. Perfect. That's all I got, Gary.
I mean,
thanks, man. I appreciate it.
The cheerleading business on TikTok is fucking layup city.
It's huge. Huge.
Layup
city. We went to Indianapolis here just back in January, and it's crazy. I think we had upwards towards 10,000 athletes, 10,000 cheerleaders never met each other, and they're just jumping in, meeting each other, jumping in each other's videos, walking by and then jumping in. It's crazy. Like that's the
really
ultimate
nice
social network for their age right there.
100%. Thank you, brother.
Awesome.
Talk to you soon.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Let's keep this going. Looking for alpha moms. Christy, good job. Holding, good. Appreciate it. Winston Alexander's in the building. April Prescott's got her routine down. I am your 50th follower, April. Big shout out to Edmonton. Gerald, what's good?
What's good, Gary? Man, it's so good to see you, man. I absolutely love what you do. As everybody said, man, I've been a fan ever since watching Wine Library back in the day.
Thank you.
I am an old school
OG.
fan. OG.
Where do you live?
I live in Charleston, South Carolina. I can spit into the Atlantic Ocean. Love what I do and love where I live. I'm a Southern boy, born and bred, man.
I love it.
Hey, man, I got a question for you, and I'll give you a little background about what I do. I'm a financial planner and I'm an insurance broker. That's what I do. And I have a 2-part question about what I do. Right now, my business has exploded. I'm not complaining about my business. My business has actually exploded since since we've been in this social distancing, because we pivoted. As you talk about for so many times, you got to be prepared to pivot. And we pivoted straight to social media. So that's what we've done. But here's my question personally. In my business, we're hyper competitive. My business is hyper competitive. It's all about the numbers. It's all about what you do. And I have a service mentality. That's just how I roll. I really don't care about how much numbers we do. I don't care about the dollars and cents, but I get reflected on by my colleagues because I'm not competitive. And it comes off oftentimes as if I'm living beneath my potential and I'm holding my team back.
You're wrong. You're listening to people that aren't wired like you.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
You're playing a much smarter game. They're going for fast nickels. You're going for slow dimes.
Ah, thank you, brother. That's what I needed. And I got one more question about my business. My business is based, I don't even like to use the word sell. We actually give facts to people and let them make a decision based on, but everybody makes a decision based on emotion.
Yes,
That's
they do.
what my business is.
No
Somebody
shit.
will invest their hard-earned life savings with me because of an emotion. It's not about the number.
It's why you're winning, because you're playing on the gray and the people around you are playing in the black and white.
Gotcha. Well, here's the thing. I'm getting a lot of pushback, and a lot of my agents are coming back to me now saying, hey, if we push those emotional buttons and we push those buttons at this time, we're getting some pushback because people are saying that we're fear-mongering. And
Look, I mean, when you're insurance by nature is fear-mongering.
Okay. Yeah.
You're right. It's the nature of the beast. Like people buy 90% of things people do and buy is based on fear. How do you change it? You change a couple adjectives. You say it slightly differently. You say up front, listen, I'm sorry, but that the nature of insurance is a little bit about fear. That's just the punchline. Now let me give you the facts.
Right. I get a lot of, I often get people saying that I sound a lot like you because I just give the straight facts. I'm like, look, there's nobody that's leaving here alive. So if you love ever, no, you're not leaving here alive. So if you love this woman that's sitting next to you, then
Gerald, on
quit
some real
lying
shit,
to her.
I'm trying to figure it out though. On some real shit, don't tell anybody, but I'm trying to live forever.
I heard you were into cryogenics, man. I heard it, but I didn't believe it.
It's not true. But the way to live forever actually is to post content for every single day at scale.
Okay.
That's how you actually live forever. Anyway, listen,
Hey, man.
I think, if I'm pitching life insurance, I'm sitting there too, and I'm looking at Mr. and Mrs. Johnson too, and I'm saying, look, you're gonna die, and you probably don't want Uncle Sam to get this money. You probably want Wanda to get this money, right? I mean, it's just real talk. It's just real talk. I think that I do think it's how you deliver. I mean, look, my intuition is that you are a good salesman. You just do it differently. And I think if you feel like you might be bleeding a hair into fear mongering, it just mix it up. Listen, I've adjusted through the way I communicate. Always, I'm always ready to pivot. In 2008, when the economy was getting destroyed and everybody was worried, I loved the word hustle, right?
Yeah.
I loved it. And I talked about it and I loved it because I believe in hard work. I believe in it more than anything in the world. I believe it's controllable and I believe it's you. That's you. Your chemicals, who your mama was, that's not you. Hard work is you. But then as things got fluffy and things got good and the world got good and everybody had enough money, all of a sudden in the culture, the word hustle became bad and it led to burnout and it led to mental unhappiness. And I was like, fuck, I need to pivot because the context changed. And now I use the word hard work a lot more than the word hustle, though I'm not scared of it, obviously. And so that's what you may need to do. You may need to tweak it so it doesn't feel like you're trying to scare Mr. Jones into it. You see where I'm going?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I'm living that. I'm living that around my favorite thing in the world, which is hard work. And guess what? Hard work and hustle is about to get popular again because 7 million people went for unemployment last week.
You are right. I swear it is. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, my man.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much. Team GaryVee, I really like that clip. Let's get that clip expedited. That's slow dimes versus fast nickels. I see it every day. I live that life that Gerald's living. I get so many people that are like, you're leaving so much money on the table. You're leaving so much money. Do this. It's back to the theme of this episode. I'd rather be happy than have more money. And by the way, the happier you are and the more you're doing yourself, you have a funny way of ending up with more money in the end than the people that are just doing it for the fucking cash. Dropping fucking gems this morning, Dustin, and Twitter's saying it. There is so much going on. Natalie Pinder sharing it, and I got to give her some love. You share the Twitter feed, you're getting some automatic. Lucy Hughes says this is the best time type of tea, and I agree. Gina, what is good? How are you, Gina?
Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Okay. So my original question was, I'm an artist, so I'm a commercial artist. I built my business around creativity and creating, and I have a passion for art, and I have a passion for expressing myself creatively. I've always done that, but also I have a real big passion for people, and I love helping people. So you know, we found like a perfect way to kind of blend the two. Well, so as much as I love doing what I do, and I mean, I love it, it's because I know, and this is a perfect episode for me to be on, because you mentioned, you know, it's all about happiness, because I am, you know.
It makes me so happy, Gina. Gina, you won. Gina, listen to me. I've lived a life that has taken me to a place where I know a lot of very wealthy people, and 95% of them are super sad.
Oh yeah. I know.
Who wants that? Why do you want to be sad? Like, you want to have a Bentley and a mansion and be sad and like cry in your, like, and people, every time I bring up anything like this, the comments go crazy. Like, fuck it, I'll take a Bentley, you know, like, you know, and people just think things bring happiness. They're so fucking confused.
Well, I think so. Right. So then how do we, so we connect with a lot of people, you know, our client, we have a wide range of clients, and we work with small businesses, and because I love the whole mentality of somebody kind of diving in and starting a business and, you know, what they'd love to do. So, and then we also have larger scale clients, you know, where we do kind of like this creative, like lifestyle creative direction. So if somebody hires us to, let's say, decorate their home or something, right? You know, and then they'll see, because I really can read what a person does, and I understand his aesthetic. And
you have the emotional intelligence.
Okay,
you have the creative intelligence.
So that transcends, right? So then we do a bunch of other stuff. We'll help them with Instagram content, you know, social media content, and all this other stuff. But here's my question: is I love doing it so much. Okay. How do I, and I also understand that I'm always going to be full of ideas, and I understand the whole premise of abundance. How do I charge somebody, and how do I know how to charge, right? I know how to, but sometimes I feel like, shit, I don't think I'm charging enough. I don't want to be taken advantage of.
You're not being taken advantage of. You're the one who was in control. I hate when people do this. They're like, Gary, I'm being taken advantage of.
I even hate
Gina,
that question.
No, I love you for it, and I'm compassionate to it. I hate it because I love people so much. I don't want them to beat themselves up. How can you be taken advantage of when you fucking quoted the price?
I know.
You're not being taken advantage of. You just don't have a pricing strategy that you feel comfortable with yet. People make this fucking, everybody makes it a fucking soap opera and some fucking Melrose Place and Dynasty shit. Like, this is like, you're not being taken advantage of by Rick. You said $280, he paid you $280. You said $5,000 an hour, he paid you $5,000 an hour. It's a very simple game.
No, right. I guess it's like when people try to negotiate, it's like, this is how you came to me.
No. Negotiating is fair. You need to have the fucking balls to walk away and say no.
I do. Well, I think I do.
People negotiate with me all the time. I'm like, no. GaryVee, I'm not paying $150,000 for you to give this speech. I got $70K for you. I'm like, no.
Right.
But $70K to give a speech is so much. I'm like, I don't want it. I'm going to stay home and work. I'm going to go to the Jets. I'm like, what? Like negotiating. Don't be mad for somebody to negotiate. Don't be mad at them for negotiating. You said 5,000. They said 3,000. Like, you're more than welcome to take 4,000 because that's what they alluded to when they said 3,000. Sure. Or you can say, Mr. Smith, I love you very much. I'm going to now go talk to Jane because I have a list of people that want to work with me, and I'm not taking less than 5,000. And very honestly, I'm about to make it 5,500 if you sit on it too long.
Right.
You just have to negotiate better.
I know. I think there have been
Gina, let's stay here. If you've got the stomach to walk, you win.
Yeah.
Nobody takes advantage of you when you say yes for the money. It means that you made a decision that it was worth your time at this moment to take less than what you ideologically made. Let's just play it out again. What I'm worth, I'm getting taken advantage of. Well, why aren't you worth 6,000 instead of 5,000 or 7,000 or 8,000? The way I grew VaynerMedia and my speaking career was to ask for more every single time. And then eventually you get 8 no's in a row and you're like, okay, fuck it. I might not be worth, maybe I'm not worth, but you've got to be comfortable with that game, and you got to be comfortable to walk and call people's bluff. I played a lot of games where I was like willing to walk, but I was close. Like, I want 130, they want to pay me 110, and I'm holding, and I walk, and they also walk, and I'm like, fuck, I probably did want to take the 110. Like, you take some L's along the way, but that's the game.
So how do you transcend that, right? Like, that's fine. I'm okay. I understand. I do have the stomach to take some losses, which I do. I absolutely do. But then how, this is another part, because that was my original question. And that was a few days ago. And then I kind of watched you and I heard you talk, and I was like, well, I know the answer, already, but how do I, because I believe, I know that I'm really gifted, right? And in talking to people and in expressing their vision, and how do I myself personally, and also within my company, which is just a creative collective between myself and my friend Jenna, she's an excellent artist too. How do we take what we're doing and transcend it? Like, we do some really cool stuff.
What does transcend mean? Do you mean get people coming to you instead of you going to them?
Not necessarily.
So what does transcend mean?
Okay, I'm saying, like, so we do some really cool art installations, locally. Like, we live in Miami. We're both from Cleveland, Ohio originally, but we live in Miami, Florida. So we've done some cool stuff there, but it's like, it's cool, but how do I think both of our personalities and both of our passions for art and
become more famous, so people really want you and pay you more to do installations? I just want to define transcend.
Sure.
I need to know what the fuck that means.
Okay. Yes, that's true. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good. How much content are you making?
We should be making more, but we make really beautiful, great content.
I don't give a fuck. I need you to post 4, 7, 13, 23 times a day across 5 platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Like, it's called the internet.
I know, especially
it's called
now,
social
right?
media.
Yeah.
Not especially. It's been going on, but yes, fine. Like, it's not going anywhere. It's forever. It matters more every single day. There used to be real models, then they became Instagram models. There used to be real comedians, now there's Instagram comedians.
Right.
Like, this fucking ship has sailed.
Mm-hmm.
You have to post fucking content. And then eventually one fucking right person sees your installation in fucking Berlin while they're going through their Explore page, and they're like, this is fucking fresh. They DM you and your life changes. I do not understand why people don't understand this game, because they're insecure when they post something that gets 87 likes and they're like, I might fuck up. Like, people are overthinking
I don't
shit.
care about, no, I'm not.
Good.
Really.
So fucking post.
I know.
Good. Good news.
Post.
Gina, I'm super pumped. You got the stomach for negotiation. You don't care. So good. You're set. Go fucking do.
All right.
All right. Love you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That was some like Cleveland, Jersey shit. That was some East Coast. That was an East Coast conversation. That was definitely an East Coast conversation. That wasn't some Malibu fucking, healthy tea shit. That was some fucking dirty tea in Jersey and Cleveland shit. I liked it. That's how I like to fucking go sometimes. Mm-hmm. Clayton, what's good?
Good, man. How are you?
Really well. Where you at?
Oakville, Ontario, Canada, about 25 miles outside Toronto.
Let's go.
First of all, thank you so much for all that you do, man. Honestly, you've been a huge inspiration, motivator.
Thank you.
It's been about 3 or 4 years since I started listening to you.
Thank you so much, Clayton.
Yeah, of course. I'm in a wheelchair with muscular dystrophy, and
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Keep grinding.
I love you. I love you for that mindset.
So
Clayton, Clayton, it's so funny. I apologize for interrupting you, but you just motivated me so much, because I know 10,000 people are watching right now, and they're sitting there worried about dumb shit, and just your fucking mindset on such, that's a tough hand. And for you to be able to, I said to my mom and dad this morning before I went on the show, I said, life is about what you look at. Like, life is about perspective. Life is completely based on what you're looking for. You find what you're looking for. If you're looking for happiness and optimism, it's there. If you're looking for negativity and pessimism, it's there. Somebody literally right before you came on complained that they can't go to the gym that they're used to or get their favorite coffee shop. And like, I just appreciate you, bro. I really do.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. So I did a social media marketing course, just a basic one, just to get, you know, my feet on the ground. Mind the puns, since I'm in a chair. But anyway, just get the wheels rolling, right? And I want to start a blog. I'm currently in the process of getting guests, whatnot. I want to do a blog where I interview, like, you know, athletes, musicians, other disabled people, and get their perspective on, you know, what they've done with charities, what they've done with people with disabilities. And
yes,
you know, I'm just wondering, how do you recommend that I make the interviews interesting instead of, you know, I don't want to go like news anchor path and just be boring as fuck. I want
ask fucking interesting questions. Start it, you know, now I come to your show, I know what you're about, I know what this show's about, and your opening question is about the first, you know, let's say it's a 44-year-old athlete, and you ask them, who'd you think was hotter, Cindy Crawford or Jessica Rabbit, right? You ask them what their favorite, you know, who their favorite athlete is and why, and you dig in. Like, interesting as fuck is completely based on the interviewer. It's based on your creativity.
Right.
How do I recommend you do it? Ask questions that most people don't ask, while asking the 4 or 5 questions you need to ask. That's it. It's some left field shit. I'm an interesting interviewer. I bug the shit out of people because I interrupt so much, but I already know what I know what the person's saying, and I'm trying to move it. So like, some people hate it, but one thing that I've noticed is there's a big undertone of people that love it, because a lot of people that I have on have done 87 other podcasts and they've heard all the same shit. But when they come on my show, I'm throwing such little fucking curveballs, jumping in, interrupting, that I'm getting some new shit from them. So that's why I'm an interesting interviewer, but a lot of people hate it because I'm interrupting, and they wanted to hear that person's thought because they didn't understand where they were going. I respect that. That's who I am as an interviewer. Clayton, you need to be yourself as an interviewer. You want to be more interesting? Think of interesting questions. Do research.
Right. Because I took journalism way back. I took it. I didn't really like the whole background of journalism. Like, they're just telling you what their platform wants you to tell them. And I want to go my own way and just, you know, make it interesting. I don't want to be told what to do.
Yeah,
you know
I get
what
it.
I mean?
Of course. Well, school tells you. I mean, bro.
Yeah, and I went through a bad breakup. I was depressed for a few years, but then when I discovered you 3 years ago, you were just like, you know, fuck it, go for it, do it. Like, you just need to start posting. You don't know. People always assume that they're going to be shit at something or they won't get followers.
People
that.
People say no. I just say yes to everything. Everybody loves no. No's safe. It takes courage to be in the yes game.
Yeah, and that's why, like, I've been spamming everybody. Like, I messaged Justin Bieber, for God's sake. Like, I want to get some interesting people on there. And
good for you.
The worst thing that can happen is they don't respond. Like,
100%.
What the hell?
Let me give you a good piece of advice if you're going through DMs. Really pay attention to their last 5 or 6 posts, see what they're up to, and try to start the conversation with something that brings them value versus brings you value. When people are like, yo, GaryVee, be on my show, you know, like, you know, when they've got 4 listeners, I'm in charity mode. And ironically, I love doing that shit. And I've done a lot. A couple of years ago, I actually did a fucking podcast every day for the year just to put people on. I still say yes to small things, but look at their profile and try to figure out something of their value.
Right. And that's just it. That's what you got to focus on, right?
Yeah, if you bring value in the opening DM, you've got a much better shot than just Control-C, Control-V, do you want to be on my podcast? That's the lazy way out. Spending 3 minutes on somebody is way better than 3 seconds when you're trying to get somebody who's fucking up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And
go ahead.
What would your recommendation be? Like, I'm thinking IGTV, but I've made a Twitter, I've made a Facebook.
IGTV is very good. You'll have a bigger audience there. I think IGTV is a good start. Don't
Do you
overthink
think
distribution.
posting it on YouTube too probably is
Yes.
not the worst idea either, right? Just go for it.
I want the content everywhere. You start at one hub, then you strip the video from IGTV, and then you fucking post it everywhere.
Right. Okay.
And just make it contextual. Awesome, brother. I wish you well.
All right. Thanks so
Talk
much,
to you
Gary.
soon.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Later. Have a
Some good stuff. Good stuff. Seba, thank you so much. Let's go. Dallas Barnes. Clayton, if you're still watching, Dallas Barnes is in my Twitter feed talking that he also has muscular dystrophy. So wanted to connect with you.
Good morning.
Maggie, good morning. What's your name?
How are you? Maggie Solomon.
Maggie, it's such a pleasure. Where are you from?
South Florida.
Very nice. What's good?
Originally from Jersey. So
What part?
all that Jersey talk. Well, my family's all in Morris Plains, Morristown area. I'm from Flemington. Been there.
Oh, I went to, I went to North Hunterdon High School.
No way. I went to Hunterdon Central.
I know, rival. I'm very angry at you. For everybody who's watching, literally on this one little highway in rural New Jersey, it's like 11 minutes away, our high school. So pretty cool. Go ahead, Meg.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I have actually been very successful in my career. I have been in healthcare IT since I graduated college. And I always say healthcare IT is, when we're in a recession, healthcare is constantly booming. But, and financially, it's always been well. But I have always had a passion. A little bit about my background is that my mom introduced me to Tony Robbins when I was in 5th grade. I mean, I was listening to that stuff always, you know, she made me believe I could fly. Yeah. I mean, but it wasn't just motivation. It was believing it and feeling it. And I'm very big on energy. It's huge on energy. So yeah. I have been meditating lately, and I have found that, you know, I like my job. I love my job. I like what I do. I'm really good at it, but it's not my purpose. And I know my purpose is, I feel like I have a voice. And I need to be utilizing it, and I need to do something with it. And the voice is getting louder.
Good news. You know, Tony back in the day needed money to run all those infomercials to build his brand in the 80s, right? We have something called the internet, and it's free.
But I don't know where to start. So I feel that
anywhere.
Something that I'm really passionate about speaking about is I feel like we inherit limiting beliefs. And that's something people inherit. And so, but it's mind-boggling when I see parents and the way they talk to their kids, and there's no one educating these kids on how they can transform their lives. And I feel like that's something that when I'm able to tap into someone.
Ready? You ready?
Yep.
Hang up here, go start a TikTok account, and spit your truth for a minute and post it.
Do you feel that, I mean, so I don't know if I'm my own limiting beliefs are getting in the way.
Of course it is. Of course. This is like the funniest meta conversation of all time, Maggie. You're telling everybody else the problem. You're in it right this second.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm like happy because I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. Like I was watching you walk down this path. I'm like, this is going to be fun. I can't wait to jump out and be like, boom. You know, like, yes, what you're asking everybody else to do is what you're struggling with. You're worried about the judgment of that post.
Yeah.
That's why you've been playing it so safe. That fucking feeling's been inside of you. You didn't fucking meditate that out in the last month. You've been thinking this shit from the get.
Well, because social media has always been something I haven't posted like personal things. I've always kept my social media private. And so
you've been
I know
playing it safe. Social media is no different than your fucking IT job. You've been playing it fucking safe, Maggie.
So, so how do you? Is it TikTok or do you use LinkedIn? And how do you separate that from your personal, like your job? You know, I'm a working professional, and you know,
I'm a professional too. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah. Also,
by the way, it's not like you're going to be making fucking naked videos. You're going to fucking talk good shit. It's not like you're gonna walk in and be like, Mr. Jones, your boss, and be like, Maggie, I didn't like you trying to inspire those kids on TikTok. It's not. What are you giving away secrets and social security numbers? Like,
so someone who was
you have an ideology You have an ideology of a professional that you need to break as well.
Yeah. Well, I've been working on myself, but something that a keynote speaker here in South Florida, she's pretty big, and one thing she told me was find someone who's doing what you want to be doing, and go to the top, go to the best. You know, I'm still waiting for Oprah Winfrey to call me back, but go to the best and have them mentor you. But I don't know if that's
fuck that. Have the world mentor you. You don't need a mentor. You need to make a fucking video. Don't pay somebody fucking $40,000 to give you courage. I'm going to give it to you right now for free.
All right.
Maggie, this is, you remember when you were like scared to like have your first kiss or to swim or to ride a bike or to take the SATs? This is all the same shit. Just do. What's going to happen? Make a fucking Instagram video and make a fucking TikTok video and be like, kids, I'm Maggie. I've been seeing a lot of shit. Here's what I see. Parents are saying no. I think it's yes. Next. I made fucking hundreds of videos before anybody gave a fuck.
Good talk.
Good talk.
Thank you so much.
You're
welcome. And I wish you
Good luck.
continued abundance and success. I really do, from the bottom of my heart.
Maggie.
God bless you.
Talk to you soon. God bless you too.
Take care.
This is a fucking good day. These Jersey girls get me going. You know, Jersey, Ohio, I love this shit. I fucking really get into it. Sean Smith, it is better late than never. Boom. Atlantic City, New Jersey, you were in the mix. Thank you, Peter, for saying what you just said. I like being generous, and I appreciate it. John, what's good? I hear your audio, but I don't see your video. Now I see it. Now
Morning,
I see
Gary.
your man, John. Good morning, John. How are you?
How you doing? Not too bad.
Really good.
So the other day you were talking about not to put up facades and be the real you. So my question was, what if you are the real you 110% of the time, and that's why people maybe people don't want to work with you because of who you are?
Then maybe you want to change and actually work on it. Like no different than physical or mental. Like I've made changes. I've had to become more radically. I've had to be more candorous, John, because people love working with me because I kept in all my negative feelings about them for 20 years and I wouldn't share. And then I would just stun them and fire them. And then they would be really mad at me and like, oh fuck, wait a minute, I'm fucking this up. So I've had to change. I've been better. And it's still a work in progress for me, but I've been better at giving negative feedback because I love positivity and all that shit. On the flip side, I watched my dad, who was very difficult on his employees. After I came in and showed a different map, he evolved. I listened to him talking to an employee last night on the phone, and the way he talked, I'm like, whoa, that, you know, my mom even said it to him because I was listening. She's like, you're starting to sound like Gary. He's like, you taught me. Like, you know, being your authentic self is amazing. But if your authentic self is not kind or is condescending or is in general half glass empty or scared, it's going to rub people the wrong way. And that becomes a game of you now starting to work on oneself, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think that over the years I have evolved into the person
that I am now.
I'm sure you have. Back in the day, I was a lot worse, and I live in a smaller community. That's why this has been an issue, is because everybody knows.
Reputation. Yeah,
that's right. So, like I said, I have evolved. I'm a professional tattoo artist, so you know it's all local. All my business is local, you know. So that kind of it's kind of a problem.
I like where you're going. I can give you some real shit. If I'm honestly, bro, I'm not joking. I'm getting the goosebumps. I'm telling you right now. And this is now almost 2 weeks of this show. This might be my favorite one. John, listen to me carefully. If you make a Facebook and Instagram, Twitter video, you can put them all on the same platforms, and you literally make a 1-minute video or 5-minute video and put it on YouTube and Twitter and what have you, or IGTV. And you literally say, what's the town's name?
I'm in Hibbing, Minnesota.
Hibbing?
Hibbing, yep.
I'm not even joking. Hibbing, what's good? It's John. Listen, you know, whether it's the quarantine, whether it's just been, this was the inevitable end of this road, whether it was me talking to my guy, GaryVee, last week, I'm making this video. Couple things. I'm fucking sorry about some stuff in the past. I'm fucking grown up now. Like that dumb shit I did 3 years ago to Uncle John, I fucked up. I was in a bad place. My childhood put me in a place where I was insecure. I was scared, but I'm evolving. And I want you to know that. And I'm putting this fucking flag in the ground to say, listen, it's, you guys know, Hibbing, in a small town, we all have our reps. Everybody knows everything. But I'm putting this flag in the ground right now to change that. I want to be different. I have become different. I have a lot of regrets and sorries I want to put out there, but today's a fresh day and I'm not living backwards. I can't dwell. I'm going forward, and I just want you to know that. So if you see me in the supermarket, or if you see me in the restaurant, or if you're scared to come in here because you don't want to deal with some of the bullshit that I was about in the past, it's a fucking fresh slate, please. And so thank you. I hope I see you. I also will go out of my way if I see you at the coffee shop and say, what's up? It's a fresh day. We need so much more positivity in the world. And I'm fucking starting that for me now. I hope this inspires some of you to do this as well. There's nothing more powerful than saying, I'm sorry and I'm ready for a change. Make that video and your whole fucking life will be different.
I dig it. I dig it. Awesome.
John, I'm telling you right now, you drop that and the deeper truth you go. You notice how in my little make pretend video, I said something about Uncle John or, you know, like if there's something specific, like I'm serious about this, bro. Having the humility and the courage to make the video I just said is a game changer of happiness for you and everybody around you.
Yeah, I'm down for it. I mean, I'm a little nervous, like even right now. I don't like being.
Fuck, it's scary. It's scary. I love that.
Yeah. So also, I re-geared because the same day I was thinking about this shit, I was like, all right, well, what the fuck am I going to do about this, you know? So I decided, well, I'm going to re-gear. I got this fucking time on my hands. So I went out to my garage, I cleaned it out, and now I'm building a paint booth so I can start painting motorcycles and shit, you know, just a side.
That shit.
We'll keep going, you know?
You're clearly a very talented.
I mean, you got to do something, right?
Yeah, and you're clearly a very talented, creative dude with your hands and your mind. It's fucking fresh. John, listen to me. We're all evolving. We all have regrets. We all have sorries. You have the courage to make that video. It's game changing.
I'll do it.
I kind of think you might. That's why I think I got the goosebumps. I kind of knew what I needed to say.
I'll do it. Yeah.
And I kind of, bro, please hit me up because I don't think you understand after you do this how much. Because I could sense your humanity and kindness. I think you have regrets. And I think when you get that out, you're going to be fucking happy, bro.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much.
Hey, could I say one more thing?
You can.
There was a fellow on here. You told him to create a logo. If he's still watching, I'd like him to
the
come to my
aviator
Instagram.
guy.
Yes. Come
What's
to my
your
Instagram, Grot132, and I'll hook you up.
GROT132.
Got it.
Grot132. Everybody's watching right now. Go on Instagram, go to his latest post, go to Grot132, and go encourage him to make this fucking video and require it to be on his Instagram within the next, I'll give him 48 hours. Go push my man here. Let's go push Johnny Grot. Grot132. Go on there right now, Vayner Nation, and pressure this man. See ya.
Thank you.
It's a good one, Dustin. It's a good show. Big shout out to Reddit for the small community that's watching there. We're testing that out. Big shout out to the First in Line group. Love it. Michael, what's good?
Another day in paradise.
I agree.
How you doing today, man?
Really well, man. What can I answer for you?
Yeah, so I'm down here in Virginia, Culpeper, Virginia. So kind of a small town, about 60,000 people, and I own a CrossFit boutique gym.
Understood.
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that we do, and a lot of owners just in this kind of market tend to rely on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, things like that.
Yes.
With me being a local gym, the audience that I'm able to reach is kind of tapped out. I wouldn't say it's tapped out. There's always room for.
I get it. It's definitely not tapped out, but I get it.
Yeah. So a lot of what's happened over this past year is we got a massive Planet Fitness coming in. We got Gold's Gym, and then we got a local backed gym as well.
So supply and demand, right? Now there's more gyms. There's only so many people in the area. Now it's gotten tighter. Understood. Plus, CrossFit itself has evolved from a super hot brand, 8-10 years ago to probably a more leveled, played out. It's not in its white hot moment.
Correct. Yeah. So now, while these guys aren't my direct competitors, right? They still saturate the market with, with advertising and billboards, and they've got millions of dollars to just dump and throw money at advertising and mailboxes, which I don't. So when I spend
the good news is they don't. I know enough about Planet Fitness and Gold's. They don't. They have enough money when they first come in to drop some real money to establish. but that will tail off as well, but keep going.
So my main concern is like, I have money that I could probably do flyers and I could put yard sale signs and things like that. But for me to dump my money on a kind of a hope, right? Hope this works. Yeah, and I know social media works, right? And we get the biggest bang in return for our buck. But I'm looking at, you know, this year, especially in 2020, I need more ground marketing. So I've got to figure out the best.
So real quick. You know how somebody comes to CrossFit and like, you know, it's a pretty intense framework. You know how some people are better at it than others? It's just better form, know how to keep themselves not from getting hurt, have better intensity, better mindset, right? You've seen a lot of people come through, right? I'm going to say this right now. You need to hear this. If you do Facebook marketing, 800 different pictures in a small town, 60,000, 800 different pictures, 800 different targets. Do you understand that if you made a Facebook ad that said, are you 42 to 44 years old, and you targeted people in your town that are 42 to 44 years old, and then you made a piece of content about something that made sense, that would crush any fucking yard sale, direct mail, local billboard. There's no better platform in the world, local marketing, than Facebook. The difference is I'm the best person in the CrossFit gym in doing that, and you're not there yet, and I want to get you there.
Gotcha.
Listen to me, on a town of 60,000 people, I think you need 100 to 200 different pictures and videos to run ads for in your town. Can you imagine? Right now, Michael, every single person that's in the same situation as you watching saying, oh, fuck, I only have one ad I run. They treat Facebook like a fucking direct mail piece or a billboard or a TV commercial or a radio spot. They don't use the platform properly. You know how people say to you, oh, fucking CrossFit, everyone gets hurt. You're like, not if you do it right.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I'm telling you the same shit right now with marketing.
Gotcha.
If you put an African-American man and woman in the video and target African-Americans in your town, it's going to convert better. If you put in University of Virginia fucking t-shirt in there and target that for alums of UV, and then VT for Virginia, like, do you understand?
Yeah, and I think that's what I've been doing. So we've been doing right and telling stories and spot focusing certain people.
Organic.
But what I haven't done, and I've realized this year, is I haven't targeted specific markets like you were talking about, and I realize it.
Let me give you an example. Give me a town that so you got this big town, but then give me a town or a subsection or the hills. Give me like a verbiage of a little subsection that you'd love to get more customers from because it's a little further away or it's high net worth. Give me something.
Are you looking for results? Can't find them in your town?
I apologize. Tell me the town, like give me the actual name.
Yeah, probably Madison, Virginia.
Madison.
Yeah.
So what's really important, this is now a lesson for everybody, is the first 3 seconds of the video. Yeah. So here's my thing. Madison, it's me, Michael. First of all, big ups, hope everybody's good. By the way, every time I'm down the block in Madison, I go into Joe's Cheesesteak House. That fucking shit is crazy. Maybe not fucking. That stuff is crazy. By the way, Madison, listen to me. My name's Michael. I own this, right? This CrossFit, the corporate, come in, say hello to me. Like, come in, like, Next. Yeah. Next. Ready? Watch this. Madison. It's me, Michael. Big shout out to all the UVM, Virginia Tech, Virginia Union alum. Come through, walk in, look for me in the gym and say Virginia Union, and the first month of my gym is free. Don't tell the University of Virginia. Virginia, do shit.
Yeah. Okay. And that's the thing. I haven't been direct targeting. So I mean,
guess what? That means ready? Yeah. What you've been doing with organic is like not using your legs when you're fucking trying to do a squat. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just using my arm. You're fucking doing it wrong.
Gotcha.
Facebook is man, I'm excited. This energy is, I'm excited for you. You're going to be you're going to be like, there's going to be a fucking poster of me in your fucking gym once you figure this out.
Dude, I'll blow it up, man. We'll have your big face right when you walk in.
Facebook and Instagram, local targeting, contextual targeting, tons of different creative towards the micro targets will change your life. Little interesting things like come in, find me in the gym, say Virginia Union first month, little shit like that. Do you serve any beverages or drinks or anything like that? Like,
just local, like recovery drinks, things like that.
Love that. You make an ad and say, listen, you come in, You find me. You say that you saw this on Facebook. You find me when you sign up. I'm always there. Maybe you're not. Maybe you are. Or you find the manager. I don't know the details. And you say that you saw this on Facebook when you sign up for the membership, and all our recovery drinks for the first month free. Like, just do shit. Hustle.
Yeah, that's money.
I'm telling you, brother. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
People are funny. People drive to Wine Library for a free piece of bread that's fucking 19 cents from 31 minutes away because some people are just wired to love free. People are literally gonna be right next door to Gold's Gym, see your shit on Facebook, and literally sign up for a 1-year membership with you because they got fucking 7 fucking energy drinks for free.
Yeah, and that's what's kind of hard is I don't want the clientele that wants $20 a month and free, right? So it's been kind of hard.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. I think that you shouldn't say no for the other people. You may say to me, Gary, they're the exact same person that cancels after a month. I say, I respect that. But if you get 1 month out of them for a $13 Facebook ad, and you see where I'm going, brother? And by the way, you said, I like how you reacted.
Yeah.
It's all about how much it costs to get them in. If it costs you $1,000 and they quit after a month, you're fucked. If it costs you $13 because Facebook's a fucking beast and now you're using it right, and in the first fucking month they pay you back and you're almost house money at that point, you're gonna change your fucking tune.
Yeah, money by numbers, right?
That's right.
All right, brother. I appreciate it.
All right,
Thanks,
brother.
man. Bye.
You got it. Man, we're dropping some serious knowledge, Dustin. I mean, we just did a fucking there are literally people that sell bullshit Facebook local business courses for fucking $200 that just got clowned on in that 4.5 minutes of fucking rant. Jessica, what's good?
Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening.
It's happening.
I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. Gary, thank you first and foremost. I came across your content. It wasn't even your content, actually. I was listening to Breakfast Club 1051. You were talking about your 400 trillion to 1, and I was literally like sitting in my car, and I was pregnant with my third baby. I have 4 kids, a dog, thank you, and my fabulous husband who like supports me in everything I do. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm gonna cry. And so I'm sitting there, and
I'm going off on Breakfast Club. I'm like,
you are totally like hitting it, and I'm like, yes, Gary, yes, I can't keep doing this shit anymore. What I was doing at the time, I was a court reporter for 5 years, and then I did cart providing for the last 2. So I basically captioned for the deaf and hearing impaired students at a school in New Jersey, and I absolutely like loved being around the kids, loved what I did, but we ended up moving further away, and it was just like, it just didn't work out. So at the time that I'm listening to you on the radio, I'm like, yes, I want to do something else. I want to do something different. And I had my uncle who's in real estate, and I saw how busy his business was and how much he did in a day. So I was like, hey, let me be your virtual assistant. I kind of made that my side hustle. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go to, I'm going to cart provide during the day, and then I'll virtual assist him, in the afternoon and at night. And I did that, and I'm still doing that, but I also started dabbling in like social media and that whole realm. And I really do enjoy the social media aspect of things and like building people's content and stuff like that. But I like totally resonated with, I believe like Amanda was her name. She was on maybe like 2 days ago, and you were like, oh, you're like a Renaissance woman. And I was like, oh my God, this is so me. I have like so many different passions, I feel like, and so many different things that I want to do. And I'm like, not sure. You always talk about happiness. And so
yes.
I'm always like, okay, like, does this really make me happy? Is this really what I want to do? And
here's the good news.
Yeah.
If it does at the moment, that's good. And if it doesn't a week later, then it doesn't. It's okay.
Right.
It's all about judgment on oneself. It's not like you have to figure out the thing that's going to make you happy forever. You need to figure out the thing that's going to make you happy today.
Right. So the one thing that truly makes me happy is being with my kids. Like, I want to be there. Like, that was my main thing. I was like, I don't care what I do, as long as I can pick them up from school and work on homework with them every day. That's what I do. So Still to this day, I've been able to do that, and I'm so grateful for that because my parents hustled like all the time. They worked.
Where'd you grow up?
In North Bergen and Fairview, New Jersey.
Know it?
Yeah,
And where do you live now?
In Phillipsburg, New Jersey.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're.
Do you want to hear something crazy?
What?
The first baseball card show I ever did was in the Phillipsburg Mall.
And it's still here, although it's not doing very well.
It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, every time when we first moved up here, they were like, "Oh yeah, that's the mall," and I'm like, "That's the fucking mall." I was like, "What the hell?"
It was a shit mall when I was a kid, and now there's only like 4 of the 400 stores open.
Oh, it's horrible. It's like
horrible.
It's falling apart at the moment. But yeah. So and actually, then I started like learning more about you, and I was like, from Springfield, you sound just like my uncle. He's like my favorite person in the world, or one of my favorite people in the world. And I'm always like, Uncle Eric, you totally sound like GaryVee. And when I found out like Springfield, I'm like, oh, like that's where you grew up. Look I'm like, there's so many similarities. Anyway, so like my question is I'm not sure if I should continue with social media and starting an agency, or the other thing that I have going on right now is I'm like, my family and we were like in a lot of debt, never any like stupid or frivolous spending on like dumb shit. We have 4 kids. I went to school in the beginning. We used our credit cards for a lot of shit like groceries and diapers and all that stuff. And we just realized, like, my husband and I were like, we can't fucking be here. Like, we can't be here for the rest of our lives. Like, we got to do something. So I created an Instagram page and basically started talking about our budget.
Is that why you moved to Phillipsburg? Because like the pricing is so good there?
The pricing is great. We got such a great deal on our home. We could have never stayed in like Bergen County or anything like that. It was
totally different.
The market there was nuts. So we're up here. We have, space for the family. The kids love it. We have a nice big yard. It's awesome. But we're also like super duper focused on our budget and super like, paying things off, trying to get money in the bank. This shit hit and we were like, wow, like this is what it feels like to have like some savings, right, in the bank and not feel like you're going to lose your fucking mind because, that's it.
Have you ever considered flipping?
So we were talking about it. Like, I've seen your garage, all the garage sales that you guys do.
The whole like Bethlehem Township, Pennsylvania, Phillipsburg, this area is loaded.
I know. And like, so my husband and I were like, all right, we're going to do this on the weekends. It's going to be like a family thing. We're going to go like together and like teach the kids how to like hustle too. And fucking coronavirus.
Okay.
and then this shit happened because it was totally like a recent thing. And we saw one of your videos. You were like being driven in like a Uber or something, and the guy was originally from Africa, I think.
Yes.
And I was like, come on, like let's go. And
listen,
and then like
this thing's gonna be eventually over.
Okay.
And it's like thrift stores. There's a bunch of little thrift stores.
Yes.
You're in a really nice little area to pick up some stuff. Like this is an area that I've gone to work on for the last 20 years. Like there's a lot of opportunity for you on that. I think you're going to do really well with it. I love the family dynamic. One of those 4 kids, 2 of those 4 kids are going to really learn some shit because it was just in them. It's going to be good memories. One of my favorite memories of my life is when my brother and I did that when he was like 12, 13, 14, 15, like 6 o'clock in the morning, getting a donut together and just kind of going like, so I think it's gonna be great.
Okay. And do you think, so I've been very like hesitant to post that type like content with our family, like with our kids.
I don't share anything in my personal life. So I think that you can maintain that. You don't need to show that part.
Right. And
I've gone garage selling with Xander. Xander's with me when we do trash talk. You just don't know it.
You just we don't see it. But if we wanted to, like I hear you all the time, like, dude, like it's okay, like like it's not like super dangerous for kids to be on and exposed and all that stuff. Like my daughter has an Instagram page for her soccer. She's like a very passionate soccer player. And I post stuff, but again, like we don't share locations, we don't share shit like that. Yeah.
You're in charge. You know how to parent your kids. You know which kid is a dope, and you don't want them to do it at first. You know which one's responsible, and right? Like you know.
No,
so
it's
you know
so
what to do
true.
with
Like
that.
my oldest son doesn't have it, and then the younger my oldest daughter, but still the second kid, she has an Instagram because I'm like, yeah, you're not gonna fuck this up for my kid.
and girls gravitate to social a little bit earlier than guys too. Just, you know, women mature faster. You know.
Yeah. I mean, my son's on TikTok, so there's that, but. He joined the whole wave before any of us did. So, okay. So garage sailing.
Couple things.
Yes.
First of all, I love your energy, which is why I've been like keeping you on the whole time.
Oh, thank you.
I think the garage sailing thing is going to work for you. I don't know why, but I fucking feel it. And I can't wait to see a random tweet from you in a year being like, GaryVee, it happened. Two, as far as the social media agency or doing your own content as like the frugal stuff or like the receipt stuff, the answer is both. Just keep tasting, keep working. Don't overthink it. Just don't dwell. You know, operate, don't overthink. Just make, you know, and what happens is when you're in that model, eventually something is so clear that you then become that. Do you understand? Plus you're happy, plus your biggest ROI is really just being there for your kids. That's why I love the garage sale thing. I'll be very honest with you. The flipping thing is money. You have to understand, you're gonna go to one house in Easton in a townwide sale in the fall, and you're gonna start getting educated, and you're gonna spend $28 and it's gonna be $3,000. Yeah, there's a trash talk. If you go watch all 5 trash talks I did, there's one trash talk episode where I buy $20 worth of Olympic pins and ended up being like $1,300.
Oh, I watched that one already. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So
yes. Okay.
It's
so
real. It's real.
Keep going, keep tasting. Got it.
Yeah. Plus, some of the stuff that's interesting is if you really get good at thrift stores, and there's a bunch in that kind of PA, New Jersey area, like then you're garage sailing every day. Then you're, you know, now all of a sudden, you know, while your kids are at school, you're going to Goodwill, spending $17, coming home, and it's 137 the next week. You know, like it's real shit. It's real shit. Like, if people are really committed to it, if you get really good and you're really committed to it, it's a $30, $40, $60, $80,000 side hustle.
Wow.
It's real money.
Yeah.
Because what people don't realize is almost everything at a Goodwill and a garage sale is worth more on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. So you start really realizing that, like, sharpeners are worth money, T-shirts are worth money. You know, you start getting books, like video games, like
No, totally. It's fucking wild. Like we've picked up things. They're sitting in our garage now, but like I'm always like, yo, like you see something on the fucking side of the road, I'm like, hey babe,
pick it up.
You got room in your car? Can you come pick this up? Like we have toys sitting in the garage that I'm like, yo, we can fucking sell this, but
you should post it here, Jess. I want you to do one thing because I want to get to one more call before I bounce today.
Yes, sorry. Go ahead.
List something on Facebook Marketplace today. Be like, yo, I can put it out on the curb. You can come pick it up. We can do social distancing. I want you to list 3 to 4 things on Facebook Marketplace that are sitting in your garage. You promise?
Okay. Yeah. Totally.
Have you ever posted anything on Facebook Marketplace?
Oh yeah, I have 4 kids. I'm constantly posting shit. I'm like, get this out of my house. I don't need God to play. You know, I don't want God thinking that I want any more kids. I love my kids so much, but 4 is enough.
4 is a real number.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Dustin.
All right, Dustin. I actually have to prep for this call, so we'll get to more. Might pop up and do some stuff on the weekend. Look for that. That'll be more breaking news if I get kind of bored here over the weekend. I might pop in, but if not, I will see you Monday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Dustin, thank you so much for being on the 1s and 2s. Big shout out to the First in Line Facebook group that we have that's private, that did a little bit of a watch party. Really appreciate everybody sharing. Please hit my Twitter hard right now with a recap of what you thought. And then finally, the big plug. I got you, Dad. The big plug. If you buy wine on the internet, if you buy wine actually, and you like me, then please love my father. Winetext.com. Link is right there. It would mean the absolute world to me. It's also crazy. Oh, and today's a big one because we usually play in that $15 to $35 range. Today's an $11 white wine that blew my face off that I tweeted about last week. So I told Brandon we got to get this into Winetext. So anyway, see you guys tomorrow or Monday. Love you all. See you soon. Bye-bye.